you got to walk the dog, carry your camera. You won't be sorry. Just make sure that as your dog takes you in the direction that she wants to go or he wants to go, that you have a little time to yourself. Take a look at some of the things that I've shot over the last year, out walking the dog, and some other things close to home. Peeking out the back door up on the balcony up here. We've got a really nice crabapple tree out back. I hope that you get to shoot close by. There's nothing worse than living in a place where you don't feel like there's something to shoot. I get in that mode a lot, but what I try to do is to find a way to, at least once a week, once every other week, sometimes more than that, to go out and just take some photos to get back into that mood. What I'd like to do is just show you just a real big overview of what I got this year. I shot 4,700 some odd photos hanging out my back door and taking the dog for a walk. Sorry I have a cold. Feeling a little bit better. If I stop every once in a while, it's because I'm having a coughing fit. Also, I've noticed that the stuff in the background, that's too cluttery. I've got this really nice large cover blanket thing that I might start stringing up as a backdrop because it's just too much going on. I've got a full studio here for recording music. Give you a quick tour. This is my production center. Guess who's set list? 16 channel mixers, MIDI controllers, guitars, bongos, congos, a full drum set, extra bass amps. I have a problem, yes I know. Stage gear, a couple keyboards and a MIDI controller, amplifiers, more guitars. I have a problem. Then there's screening room, a den. Oh, and another guitar. And I don't know if you can see it, but all around here are bits and pieces of music equipment. And I'm not proficient at much of them, or many of them, but I have fun. Okay, let's get back to the work here. Walking the dog photography. Take a quick look right down here. I have 786 photos of 4,700 plus that I took walking the dog and hanging out the back door of the house. And out of those, I've been able to come up with 67 that I like. And I've color-coded and sorted and rated from 3 to 5. And this is just one of the first ones I took this year. Let's get into the secondary sorting, which is a color or by color. The first is red, which is birds. They're the easiest for me to shoot. There's a deer up in the cemetery, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go to lights out mode and start taking a look at these. There's a little bit of over-processing on here. But he had that look on his face like, are you kidding me? A crabapple tree in our backyard had a bumper crop. Tens of thousands of tiny little apples. I think this is a eastern peewee, maybe. It was up in the lilac. Anyway, the crabapple tree had a bumper crop this year, and as usual, several hundred robins hung around the yard, and I was lucky enough to draw in some starlings, which I have really been trying to shoot for about 15 years. Haven't had a lot of great luck. But anyway, starlings came in and just huge flocks, which when the crabapple tree is in the late afternoon, it is just, I don't think there's a prettier tree for me to shoot in, period. Starlings came in droves. This is in deep shade, so the colors are rather muted and very, 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 very yellow. But I worked on the color balance, and it's what it was. I really like the head position right here. These aren't banner shots. I mean, they're really great color and really nice pose. But the legs are covered. I've been trying to shoot starlings for a very long time, and I have some really nice shots. I was able to get this one a little bit better light. You can start to see the purple and the green and the sharpness, but the background is just a little bit too cluttered for me. I don't think I got any portfolio shots out of any of this. This guy I really like. I did not process this in topaz sharpening. Here we go. I might have needed to kind of back this off just a little bit though, and get a little bit more of the noise out, but that's all right. Anyway, oh, this guy. You know, if these guys were 6 foot tall, they would kill every one of us. Sparrows are not a nice bird. They're argumentative. Where's he going? Rather argumentative and kind of funny. Really noisy. I like to get the shots where they're picking between the leaves. And the R7 can really pick them out with the different focus modes. This is one of my one I like a little bit more than the rest of them. It's really clear. Really great focus. And this is the Canon 100-400 version 2. It's an amazing lens. I don't know why people would not want to have this. But even in the shade, it was just bright enough. You can start to see the purples and the greens and the blues. This is almost one of my favorites. That branch right there. I have like 3 more shots with that branch. The wind was blowing a little bit and it was down here a little bit more. It was a little bit better, but he was out of focus. So this I overprocessed. Just way too much, which is too bad because that could have been a good shot. And it just wasn't sharp enough to really do anything with. In between DxO and topaz sharpen, I just couldn't get it to look right without fringing. So maybe I'll try on Photoshop or something later. Same thing with this one. And this leaf, I think, is actually in front of his head instead of behind. This starling, great colors coming through here in the purple and the green, but his beak is lining up with that branch, which just kind of falls apart. I like this. This I had to sharpen quite a bit in Topaz Labs, but it came out pretty decent, I think. You can see a little bit of the purple, a little bit of the green up in here. Kind of an action shot, jumping off this branch right here. They're in here looking for these purple, the red crab apples. And sadly, they eat so many they get drunk. The robins get really drunk. They eat all the ones that are just way past ripe. I don't know why. I like the sweetness, but I've tasted these. They're great, but boy, it sure takes a lot to do anything for you. Crow in the cemetery. I'm going to use this for the store. Cedar waxwings. I have some really great pictures of cedar waxwings. None of these here are going to be them. I think there's one that's actually halfway decent, but oh yeah, there is one coming up. Color's really interesting, but this branch I can't clone out, and this branch can't clone out, so it just kind of falls flat. It just destroys the photo when you try to get rid of it. This is my favorite of those, and mostly because of his hair or his feathers on top. Let's switch over to not so much green. What's the green? Green's the bug. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Again, I shoot most everything with the 100-400. I missed focus on his back. I caught it just halfway down his head and into the flower. It's a real bummer because the pose is pretty good. I like shooting these guys. Bumblebees, hornets, wasps, honeybees. Let's see. Oh, this one's good. See quite a bit of detail in here. Just love how he's hairy and spiky. You just think bugs have no hair. Well, yeah, they do. These didn't turn out too well. The focus was really off. This one's not too bad. that's the last of the bugs. Lights out. Green. This is Black Angel just down the road from us. I'll try to hurry up just a little bit so this is not too long. This is a Daniel Chester French sculpture. And it's called the Council Bluffs Black Angel. It's worth Googling. It's just not too far from the house. And since it's so popular that people have asked me to shoot this several times. And I thought I'd crop it several different ways. And then while I was there the third or fourth time, these guys are splattering water all over it, taking a bath. And this is just November, 1st of November. Okay, let's get into... Oh, this is trouble. That's the one that makes me walk all over the place. And... the twins. These are twins. I think one's a buck and one's a doe. Kind of hard to really tell. This one's got a squared off head. This one's not so much. So it makes me think that that could be the boy. But this is October, early October, I think. And let's go to lights out. This is earlier in the year, probably June, May. It's one of my favorite photos of the year, actually. So much so I cropped it differently for screen. This poor girl, when about a few months earlier, had about 8 or 9 tick bites on her side of her head, and there's a residual scar right here that went away later in the summer. But I just can't. It's just, this is a 100-400 lens again. It's just amazing. And some heavy saturation artsy stuff. I'd kind of like to wrap things up right about now. I believe we've gone through all the best of that group of images, of the 700 something that I kept out of the 4700 something, and I think it was 67 that I actually processed to look at. What I'd like to do is, as we close things up, I'm going to run some images in the background that will show you some of the other trips that I've done and some of the other shooting that I've done out the back window, the back door of the house here, when I had a few minutes free time here and there. And I really hope that you're able to get out and take some time for yourself when in the middle of the day, at the end of the day, beginning of the day, whenever that you have just a few free minutes. And take that time to practice shooting. Maybe you'll get a portfolio shot out of the mix. It could be a lot of fun. Anyway, I hope you will like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in a week or so. Thank you for joining me.